I don't think we need to do this thing anymore where we say, what would it look like if Nick Kyrgios tried hard? For me, 2022 and the season he put together was a shift in that. And I watched him all year long, and I thought the desire was very high. The desire to win was very high, and therefore the effort level was high. The competitiveness was high. Now, that's not to say that the behavior was always on point or that the composure was always there, but the will to win was there in a way that it had never been there before. Not to mention, I know from inside sources he was working way harder on his fitness. Not that this is like some sort of secret or anything, but he was working way harder on his fitness throughout 2022 than he ever had before. And that showed because he had the ability to play multiple matches and not wear down. He had the ability to play most of the season without suffering an injury. And that was a real change for Kyrgios, because as much as some of the shortcomings in his mental game held him back for many, many years, it was also largely the physicality and the injuries not allowing him to be a serious contender in a 2-week best-of-5 tournament. But in 2022, what did he do? He was probably the 4th best player in the world that year. Win percentage would suggest he was the 4th best player in the world. He went 37-10. So that's a 79% win rate. Let me defend win rate as a stat by just giving you the other players on this list. And I'm looking right now at the 2022 leaders in win percentage. Novak Djokovic, number 1, Rafael Nadal, Carlos Alcaraz, Kyrgios, Zverev, Sinner, Berrettini, Tsitsipas. Rublev rounds out. Well, that's actually 9. And then Cameron Norrie. You see? It's a pretty good indication of where players stand. If you just take their win rate at the end of the year, it's going to paint a picture. And for Kyrgios, who obviously made the Wimbledon final that year, it paints a picture that I believe is quite accurate, that he was one of the best players in the world. He was up there. Not the best, not tier 1. But anyway, like, we saw it. That was Nick Kyrgios trying to maximize himself. That's what it looks like. It was pretty good. So do I think if he was in that kind of mode every year, do I think he would have stumbled upon a major title? Yes, I do. Does that matter in the grand scheme of things? No. That would be very disrespectful to players who have, high level of ambition, high level of professionalism, who put in the hard yards off the court, who have an exceptional ability to maintain composure and deal with adversity on the court. It would be very disrespectful to those players to not respect those attributes as skills and not to look at Nick and say, well, you lacked in those skills. And that's part of the whole picture of being a successful tennis player. So Nick doesn't get bonus points for the what if of it all.